Hi there, I'm back with another Crafting with Black and White video for this video series. Today I am teaming up with my friend Rebecca. She is super talented and you're going to want to be sure to check out her channel and see how she can inspire you. Today's layout, I am using the patterned paper not as just my background, but to create a focal point on the layout. And what I am doing is trying to create kind of a triangular explosion on the page, if that makes any sense at all. It will as it comes together. I'm starting like with a really narrow strip and then it gets bigger, and so it almost looks like a poof of smoke or something. I just wanted to play with angles today, and so that was the look I was going for. I am finding that during this series I kind of like working with paper that is a black base with a white pattern on it a little bit more than I like working with the white with black. So I decided to do more with that today, more black with white than white with black. And as you can see, I had one big triangular piece in the middle, and then I'm adding some skinnier strips to the outside, and each edge I am distressing with a distressor so that I can just add a little texture to everything and break up the rigidity of those lines. And so I'm going to go ahead and center that on my white base, and then I'm going to build my layout on top of this piece, which ends up being a real nice focal piece for the whole background. For whatever reason, I got a little uneven in my measurements, so I'm going to have to trim off the top here and fix that. But first I need to get those layers down a little tighter. But here you see I'm trimming off that little wonky edge that I had going on up top there. Now I had cut out these pictures and framed them with some paper, some older paper from Simple Stories. These are all pictures from the same day, same time, of my middle son, and it was pictures of him with all his good friends before we moved away from Illinois. I took an individual picture of him with each of his close friends, and we had a little going away party for him, and it was wild and crazy and loud and silly and fun and all those things that you would expect from 5 and 6-year-olds. And so that was kind of the feel I was going for on this layout. A little bit wild, a little bit crazy, and you'll see that come across in the title as well as some of the embellishing that I do. These frames were all part of a patterned paper from a collection from Simple Stories from at least a couple years ago, maybe even a few years ago. But I cut each of those out individually, and then I measured my pictures and added my pictures on top of them. The frames have a little pop of color to them, and so that was perfect for what I was going for. Now I'm also using some new thickers from the newest Amy Tan collection, and I had just ordered her new collection and some pieces from it, and so the colors on it were a perfect match with the colors that were in the frames on this. So I decided to just build on that with a bright pink and a bright orange and bright yellows and bright greens and a turquoise too. As you can see, I kind of laid out my pictures, but then I decided I wanted to add that for part of the title. So now I've got Do Your Thing up top, which I think fits with wild and crazy 5 and 6-year-olds. And then I also have Awesome down at the bottom, and you'll see I'm going to add a little more to that title in just a minute. I am pulling out that laser square again. You've seen me use that in almost every video this week, just to help me get things on there straight as possible. Now I am going to add B with some letters from Bella Boulevard to the bottom there. So then now it says, Do Your Thing, Be Awesome. And I think it really summarizes that day and that party really well. They had all kinds of silly fun. In fact, at one point they were chasing my husband all around the property with glasses full of water and hoses and trying to soak him down, and it was just a crazy fun time. So I have pulled out some stickers from that same Simple Stories collection, and I am adding some of those as embellishments here. Now these ones are all little speech bubbles, and so I am just picking out ones that are appropriate for the personality of the kids in the picture and adding those to it. Close by to each picture is getting its own little speech bubble. So those all have white print on them, and then come in all the coordinating colors, pink and orange and yellows and blues and greens, and so I'm getting a lot of color onto this layout today. I always love to be able to add a lot of text to my layouts. I'm not a big journaler. I do journal sometimes, but a lot of times I just like to convey my thoughts through little things like this, whether it's speech bubbles or little text words or whatever. That's my favorite way to bring out the story on my projects. And I think that's okay. To each his own. If you're a big journaler, that's awesome. Or if you like to type it, that's awesome. I think we each have to do whatever works for us and what we like. For me, I just don't enjoy the journaling process as much, so this is a happy medium for me. Now I am going ahead and adding on some embellishments, adding in some heart stickers. Those are also from that same Simple Stories collection. And I am actually excited because I'm pretty much going to use up this sticker sheet, and that almost never happens unless I give it to my kids. So that's a highlight, another highlight for this week, getting rid of a sticker sheet. I am adding on some black splatters now, and this kind of goes with that explosive feel of the design I was going for on the layout. I think it adds to the motion and also conveys the crazy, wild feeling as well. I am using a paintbrush and some black mist to add it, and I am finding that I really like to use a paintbrush for doing mist splatters. It offers a little more of a consistent splatter than what I usually get with just pulling the stick out of the mist and flipping it around. I'm not really sure why. I haven't been doing it for that long, but I do really enjoy it. So, and enjoy the end result, which is, of course, the most important thing. So I'm also adding on some star stickers, which I think go with that theme as well. And that will help me polish off that sticker sheet. And then I'm going to add on a few enamel dots to bring in one more color and some dimension, because aside from my distressing and using the thicker titles, I don't really have much dimension to this layout, and it needed something a little bit more to bring it up from being quite so flat. The thickers the enamel dots I'm going to use are some from Doodlebug, from their summer collection last summer, so they are a matte one instead of a shiny one. I definitely like the matte enamel dots a lot. I always have loved the shiny ones too, but there's something about the matte ones that just add a totally different texture and element to the whole project. So they are definitely one of my go-to embellishments that you will consistently see me bringing in. And I love that they're available in so many different colors. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for joining me.